Notorious, so notorious.
It's Friday night, and the posse's back. Deep dives, local vibes, and headlines that matter, or totally don't. So crack a beer, crank it up. This is the NFNP.
Talk about something else.
We'll talk about something else. I don't know. We could talk about He-Man. Do you guys know that there's a new He-Man movie coming out?
No,
I did not know that.
All right. The preview, I saw it when we went and saw Project Hail Mary. Looks pretty good. I loved He-Man when I was growing up. When I was, 5, 6.
is it a kids movie, the new one, or
No, this is like a Masters of the Universe, kind of like
Live action.
the live action, so it's actual people.
Yeah,
So I think it'll appeal to adults and probably kids of a certain age.
I think
I
the
tried to
He-Man
get my
movie
kids
back
into
in the day
He-Man,
was live action, wasn't it?
Dolph Lundgren,
Yeah.
Drago.
I haven't
know,
seen
from
that.
Rocky-
That was really,
from Rocky
really
IV.
little. Yeah.
how was that movie, The Hail Mary?
It was really good. So
You didn't read the
I,
review?
I know I posted a review on the website.
I read
Nilla.
Yeah,
Did you read it? All right. Now,
I did.
Nilla, you've been gone for like 2 weeks.
that's right.
You know, so which
Which actually was
week
3 or 4
back.
weeks, I think.
Yeah, because we missed 2 spring break weeks.
Uh-huh.
You're right. So probably like a month or something
That's
since
right.
you've been on the pod. But yeah, you got to go check out the website. Duds, what'd you think of the review?
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, you sold
Yeah.
me. I'm gonna go see it.
Yeah, it's worth it. I actually have it here. Their updated numbers. If you give me a second, $432 million in the box office.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
It's-
it's pretty good.
It looks
many
interesting.
weeks is
Like, I'm
that?
not sure if it looks good or like it's weird looking. I don't know.
It's very good. The book it's way better. The book is way better. The movie, it's 2.5 hours long, and they still have to kind of rush it a little bit because there's just so much to cover. So there's a couple of spots in the book where, they spend 60 pages on a problem, and in the movie it's like 60 seconds. And you're like, oh, what happened to that?
Same thing in The Martian.
Yeah, it's the same with The Martian. In The Martian, they skipped a whole, subsection of the book. They just skipped it. It
Well,
wasn't
two
even
and a
in
half
the movie.
hours for a movie is already,
So supposedly they had like a 4.5 hour director's cut.
wow.
So yeah.
Can't wait to
But it
see
was good. It's definitely worth it.
Okay.
It was great to see in the theaters, and it was fun because it had a little like community vibe to it. Like I think I mentioned this maybe on the pod. I don't remember, Duds, but there was a part where crazy stuff is happening, and the whole theater just went silent.
I think you mentioned that in your review.
It may be in the review. Yeah, maybe that's what it
Spoiler
was.
alert
Like,
on the review.
Spoiler alert! I didn't spoil anything other than everybody just shut the fuck up. It was
Wow.
like, what is going to happen? We hope everything
Yeah.
works out. Like it was fun.
Suspense.
It was a fun movie. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And
The
it went right
suspense.
along with our topic last week. Hopefully you listened to the pod, even though you weren't on it last week.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
you had medical emergencies with the family. But we talked about Artemis 2 and all, which is still going on.
Yeah.
They're
Coming back
on their
tomorrow.
way home now, but
Yep.
yeah. And it was actually the most viewed episode ever of the NFNP pod.
It's
Wow.
probably because it was about Artemis. That's why.
Probably.
Maybe
Uh-huh.
it's because we're deviating from politics a little bit. I mean, Duds and
I
I
have
still
heard-
hit on some politics.
I've heard that Artemis 2 might be fake.
Yeah, I
It's all
don't know. I think
staged. They staged
at this point, I don't think there's any fake in this, right? Like people can probably track it with their telescopes and all
Well,
kinds of
supposedly.
smartphone. Right.
The
Supposedly.
Earth is flat, right?
Well, there was a lot of that. People were sending back pictures, and they were like, "Guys, this is it. It is over." Like the flat earthers, like this is proof. You can say what you will about the 60s and the 70s, but like this is real. It is a sphere.
That's what you say.
That's what I say. Yeah. So Nilla, what's been going on? How are you?
Oh, not bad, not too much. The dog, it still don't know what it was, calling for basically, $500 something later, they didn't do a blood test, so that was next. But I was like, I mean, what are you going to come back with, like cancer or like what, I mean, I don't know. She was
Has she
fine.
gotten has she gotten better though?
Yeah. I mean, well, they gave her
Yeah.
fluids,
Yeah.
which they inject under her back, like in her skin. It's like this big bubble of like fluids, kind of like an IV, except for they give it to you once and then your body absorbs it over time, basically, right? So you don't have to sit there for the whole hour long an IV intake.
Right.
And then they also gave her like an anti-nausea shot, which was supposed to last like 24 hours. But she wasn't eating, which is not normal for her. She's very food motivated. And then like a day or something later, basically she was fine. And it's like, okay, I'm
Well,
not really
at
sure what
least
that
she's
was, but
at least she's doing better.
yeah. So that was fun.
Well, glad she's doing better. I'm glad to hear it, and I'm glad that you're back on the pod, man.
Yeah.
Duds and I think it was nice. Two-man show. We did well, but it's more pressure when it's
Yeah.
just the two of us,
Sure.
And
Somebody's
we
gotta
missed
be
your
talking.
comedic takes.
Gotta have that.
The only good thing probably is that we weren't talking over each other as much. That's the only downside of obviously doing this virtually, and you have three people on. You don't always know what the other person's thinking and when they want to interject. When it's two people, you can kind of read the other person a little bit. But we missed your comedic takes, Nilla. So we appreciate you hopping back on and riding the wave into
That's
what
right.
hopefully will be 100 views here soon.
So what's going on in the
Well,
world?
So I've got a topic. I certainly have a topic. There's stuff going on in the world. We could always talk, ceasefires and the Strait of Hormuz, or however you say it, and crude oil prices and stock market.
Sure.
That's all boring stuff. But have you guys heard?
Boring.
Oh, I know. We only have 1 hour today, by the way. I know we run long. We started late tonight, so we're going for the 10 o'clock hard stop, right? I think that's fair. I think we can get this in. We'll just be a little bit more on point tonight. But all right, so the main deep dive, if you will, that I pulled up were the missing and dead scientists. Have you guys heard about the story at all, or am I
Like
throwing
which
something new
ones?
at you?
Like with as far as
This is something. So it's been going on for a while now, but it's certainly picking up traction because more and more scientists that work for the U.S. government
Yep, I did hear
just
this.
fucking dying or going missing completely randomly. And there's a lot of conjecture. I'm sure it's a larger conspiracy. Some of them are probably legit. Some of them, there's questions. So I was like, we'll talk a little bit of that. The Will Kane show, if you watch that on Fox News right before the 5, he's been doing a deep dive on this. And then I had it last week, Duds. I had it in the wheel as just a little segment, but I'm like, you know what? There's enough here that we could probably go into some specifics and say,
Some
hey,
of this was linked to the Los Alamos.
yeah, NASA, Los Alamos, absolutely, yeah. So if you want me to give you the spin, this is interesting.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear it. All right. Okay. So over the past few years, multiple U.S. scientists, many that are tied to defense, energy, nuclear research, they're either dead or disappeared or have been found dead under some questionable circumstances, if you will. Right? So the main question here, and I'm not sure that we're going to solve this today, but is this coincidence or is this something bigger, right? Are we under attack, right? Or is it foreign adversaries that are taking us out? Are they looking to stall our our technology growth or scientific growth? I don't know. So multiple scientists linked to NASA, Los Alamos, and U.S. research labs, like I said, have either died or gone missing over the last couple of years. And they've been sudden deaths, missing persons, and very limited public details. So now that people are asking questions, there's no answers. The government won't say, the local municipalities won't say, no autopsies are being performed, all kinds of crazy stuff. So, individually you might be like, oh, this is a one-off, but once you start putting all these together, you start wondering, is something bigger at play here?
Yeah, you gotta wonder if the government, like who does discovered these links, to all these people, and that there was some
Honestly,
connection,
it was probably the internet community,
right? So is the government even
started putting them
investigating
together.
this, or are they even aware of it? You know,
I'm
Well,
sure they're aware.
I'm sure they're aware of it, right? Yeah.
I mean, they're
Well,
behind them,
aware
obviously.
of the right. That's the question. If they're aware of it and they're not investigating it, then they must be in on it.
Yeah.
So
And
Well,
they
right.
certainly could be investigating it, but again, that's not in the public
Mhm.
eye. Like
Right.
they might be investigating it behind the scenes, and
that's
maybe
what I'm
they've
wondering.
determined that there's nothing here,
Did
but they're not
they make
telling
that
us.
connection? Did they make the connection, or did the internet do
Yeah.
that? 'Cause sometimes the
Right.
internet, the social
Well,
media works faster than the
absolutely. And if you just watch the new
investigators.
acting attorney general, I don't remember his name, but the guy that has kind of taken over for Pam Bondi, he had a press conference earlier this week about all the fraud case, of which we've covered on this podcast. So all the Nick Shirley stuff coming down
Mhm.
from Minnesota and California and all this stuff, and they're asking all these questions, and he was like, "Hey, like we don't necessarily know this stuff is going on until the public tells us about it. Then the public tells us about it, and then we send our investigators and our prosecutors out.
Right.
But like
Well,
we
yeah, how
don't.
else are they
So
gonna know?
how else are they going to know? And I think that could be the same here, because again, individually, no big deal. But
Mhm.
once you start being like, okay, this is a Los Alamos guy, this is an MIT professor, this is, 3 NASA scientists, all related to jet propulsion, and all of a sudden they're all dead or missing.
Yeah, you
It's like,
almost think
wait a
that
minute.
there would probably be like somebody at the business or in the families that's like, "Hey, why are all these people that we know dying?" You know,
Yeah,
let's
you would
alert
think
the
so.
authorities and get some kind of investigation going. And if they all have top
Well,
secret knowledge, that makes
and
it
if this
even more
happened during
questionable.
like World War II or something like that, and a bunch of people, that were working on the Manhattan Project all of a
Yeah.
sudden just went missing or died, you don't think they would have been like, it's the fucking Russians? Of course they would
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
So like in this instance, why are they not looking at the Chinese? Why are they not looking at the Russians, the North Koreans? We've already seen, and even recently, there's been some people that they've busted for espionage type stuff. We even talked about the one on the podcast that was related to Missouri. If you remember, it was that Chinese guy that was running a scam in the state of Missouri.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So let me ask you
So I
this:
mean,
do you
this.
know how the people that have been confirmed dead? How did they die? Are they
Well, I got
questionable
all
deaths?
of it. You ready? You ready to go
Are
into
they
it?
suspicious?
All right.
Like I said,
There, of
yeah.
course they are. Well, so I got all the primary ones. There's 8 primary ones, and there's other ones that are speculative,
Okay.
right? People are like, are these connected? But I got the 8 primary ones. And before we dive into that, just a couple of other quick things, right? So we're talking about Los Alamos, which is a major nuclear facility. We're talking about NASA and aerospace engineering and that kind of a thing. Space research, defense contracts, classified work, advanced tech development. And the fact of the matter is that, again, many of these deaths are either suicide, maybe, right?
Mm.
Accidents, missing people, undetermined. And then the main problem is, again, the government is not giving out the public details. It's all classified information. So when the public goes to look at it, we're not getting the full details.
Yeah.
Of course not.
So,
Sounds
yeah,
about right.
of course not. Right. So I got 8 scientists, 8 strange cases, and 1 big question. So let's start. I've got number 1, Frank Maywald. He worked for NASA. He was a principal researcher, and he died in Los Angeles on July 4th. Coincidence? Right off the bat, July 4th, 2024. So
Well,
he
this
was
is going back a little while.
Going back a little bit, but this is
Okay.
probably the oldest one. The
Okay,
rest of them
gotcha.
start in like 2025, 2026.
Okay.
So this is probably the oldest one and probably the one that kind of kicked everything off. So he was 61, so not necessarily like a young man, but still
Sure.
early,
Yeah.
still young. And, right off the bat, that kind of gets people kind of buzzing like, okay, 61. So his obituary disclosed his death. Like, okay, he died, but there was no autopsy performed and no cause of death. Right off the, like, so you
No
say that this
cause of
guy
death.
died, but everybody gets a cause of death.
Yeah.
So how does this guy
Exactly.
not has a cause of death? At least not one that's been released.
Yeah.
So again, they might know, but they're not telling anybody. So again, that doesn't necessarily prove anything in and of itself. But
Weird,
no
but yeah.
autopsy, no public case. He worked for NASA. Other than that, okay. Let's see. That's number one. All right, number two, Anthony Chavez disappeared. So this guy disappeared in May of 2025 in New Mexico. And the reports are that he vanished after going for a walk. Just out for a walk. But
He
here's
was
the
probably
thing.
abducted by aliens.
Of course. Well,
Yeah.
hold on, that's later. I got another.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's later. All right. But guess what? He left his wallet, his keys, his phone, all left behind.
Always.
You don't
So
need
he
those.
went for a walk with any of those things? Like, how often do you go for a walk without your phone?
Only to your death, probably.
If you know ahead of time, would.
Yeah.
Mm.
So right off the bat, you're like, okay, this isn't so much a guy just goes missing. This is like the opening of a Netflix, series or something like that, right? Like,
Mhm.
little too coincidental. And guess what? There's still nothing. Nobody knows what happened to this guy. Just
Guy
gone.
just abandoned everything he had and gone.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So they don't know. Nothing's been said about it. The guy's just missing.
When did
Kind
he
of
go
like
missing?
Savannah Guthrie, which
Yeah,
we
that's what I was
also talked
thinking.
about on the podcast. Gone. They're
Never to
never
be
going to
found.
figure it out. Never to be found again. The only
Yeah,
problem is that
what's that percentage of missing people that never get recovered or murders that never get solved?
Question.
It's extremely high, I think, isn't it? All right,
Like what
continue
are you
on.
talking
I'll
about?
look
Like
that up.
40%?
like if you're not found in the first like 48 hours,
Yeah.
that's basically over.
Probably.
You're screwed. You are not going to be found. And so that's something they say, like if you ever are kidnapped, like let's say you're in a trunk of a car or something like that. Like you got to escape before they take you wherever they're going to take you, because once you're taken somewhere, it's over.
Well, yeah, because it's most
Right?
likely going to be somewhere like off the grid, like out in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly. Yeah.
No chance.
So you got to do whatever you can to get
Same.
out right away. So even if it doesn't feel safe at the time,
Right.
it ain't going to be any better
Yeah.
later.
Right.
So don't get,
Mhm.
you're going to get something bad is happening
Mhm.
2 hours from now in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
Ugh. All right. So the next one, while Duds looks that up, Monica Reyes or Reza, Monica Reza, aerospace engineer. Again, another big high profile job. She was connected to NASA, so maybe she didn't work for them directly, but she was like subcontracted out and, had worked in advanced rocketry. Right. So rocketry, so another big job. Went missing of June 22, 2025. June 22nd, 2025.
When was the second person? What date was that?
May 2025.
Yeah,
You know,
gotcha.
Having skills in advanced rocketry is probably very valuable information to have too.
You would think so, right? We talked
Yeah.
about this on the pod last week, we talked about Project Paperclip, right? Or 2 weeks ago, one of it was just us, about how after World War II, the United States took all the German scientists that were working on their rocketry and stole them, gave them citizenship, protected them from the Nuremberg trials and all of that. And then they're the ones that helped us go to the moon. It was probably last week's episode, and they were all freaking Nazis, so
Yeah.
we just took all these Nazis and we're like, all is forgiven. Just help us with our own endeavors, but so who's to say that didn't happen here with Monica or Anthony, so she was in, Los Angeles and she was hiking the national forest, one of the California's national forests.
Probably a
And
bobcat
reports
got her.
Yeah, yeah.
a bobcat. Yeah.
She
Speaking
probably
of,
didn't have her phone, or did she?
well, I don't know. The biggest thing was that she was hiking with her friends. She was hiking with her friends, and she was only a short distance away from them. Gone.
Well, that sounds
Wow.
like an animal or something got her.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they killed
Or
her.
an alien.
An alien, an animal, a Chinese person, Chinese spy. I don't know. But you brought up a bobcat, so now is a good time as ever. Early in the podcast, we got to give a shout out. Happy 42nd birthday to
Bobcat Man.
Man.
That's right.
You know, one of these days he is going to join this pod. I swear.
Maybe.
Can we sing him happy
you know,
birthday?
I'm not going to go that far. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So hopefully he's listening to the podcast, and if he's going to listen, he should listen early. So we better get it out.
Yeah, I think
So
he
she
said
goes
about 20
missing.
minutes. He shuts it off. It's got a 20
Well, it
minute
depends
limit.
on time too, though. If it's like 8:00 at night, forget about it. It's done for.
I don't care how people listen to this podcast; they could fall
Right.
asleep to it as long as they're listening.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Maybe that's what people are using it for. It's a good thing to help them go to sleep.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's most of my podcasts. I put on and I fall asleep. Now, if they're really good, it delays my sleep, and if they're really, really good, I go back and I listen to them the next day.
Mm.
So that's when you know.
That's how you measure
they're just,
podcast quality, huh?
If they just help you go to bed, that's still a win in my book.
Yeah.
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 Whatever
And
works,
still
right?
listen. You still get made. You still get paid money. Maybe
Still
I don't know.
accomplishing something, right?
Yeah.
Helping people
Mhm.
sleep at night is a great thing.
People will pay money for that for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, they will. Oh, there are apps. There 100%
Yeah.
are apps that are designed just to help you fall asleep.
Yep.
Yeah, like the sound machine, like different sounds.
Yeah. Well, why
Yeah.
would you do that when you can just put on a podcast? And I don't know. I
You
usually
can
I
start
put on the
making
Rizzuto
sounds.
show.
Just start making the white noise
Yeah.
sounds.
Can you do a humpback whale sound?
Maybe. Probably. I'm pretty good at sounds, actually.
You can do dolphins. Give us
Oh, yeah.
give us
Oh,
your
that's a
best
good one.
dolphin sound. Let's hear
Ooh,
it.
I can't do it on demand on cue like this, with the pressure. I mean, only in the pool.
You got to be in the water. That's what I was going to say. You got to be in the water. Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Okay. All right. So the sheriff's office reported that again, she was missing. They were concerned about her well-being. Homicide investigators were involved, but nobody. They never found her. Just out hiking with her friends, and all of a sudden,
So her friends don't know, and they were not. I mean, they were questioned, I guess, obviously, but that's it.
I don't know. I mean,
That's a really odd
that's pretty
one.
freaking weird. Yeah. Pretty
You'd think
freaking
that
weird.
her friends would have some kind of idea of what happened.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
if you
what makes me
fell or
think
something like
that
that, you're gonna make a noise.
Like
or...
literally, like Homer Simpson came out of the bushes and like grabbed her and
Yeah.
pulled her in.
Something.
Something like that. All right, that's number 3. Number 4, Melissa Cassis. Melissa Cassis, also Los Alamos employee, disappeared June 26th, 2025. So this is only 4 days difference, right?
Mhm.
Months later, no major breakthrough in the investigation. One report says she vanished after returning home from a walk
Wow.
toward
What's up with
the
walks?
forest. She was walking towards the forest.
All these health nuts going for walks.
Yeah. Oh, and here's the big one. Her phone had been wiped.
Oh,
It had been
That's odd.
factory reset and completely wiped.
That's
mm.
very odd. Yeah.
Yeah.
So far,
Something's going on.
So far, that's one of the most suspicious things.
Yeah. So we got, again, June 26, 2025, June 22nd, 2025, May 2025, and then the one before that was July 4th, 2024.
Should we
That's
make like
3
a
and-
chart?
Yeah,
The
let's
dates?
get
We
a
should get a board.
murder
Murder
board
board.
going here. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Love a good murder
absolutely.
board.
Hey, if we solved this, our podcast would skyrocket.
Wasn't there a
Yeah.
podcast
Yeah.
that did that? It was like some women and they were talking about murders.
Caroline and I, we went and saw the one Up and Vanished, and I can't remember. I may have even talked about it on the pod before.
Maybe.
We went and watched the guy at the pageant, which is actually close to where I was for my event tonight. We were at Pin Up Bowl right next to the pageant. But I had listened to Up and Vanished, which is a great podcast. I highly recommend, especially going all the way back. And they had, in theory, solved the murder of this beauty queen that went missing.
Mm.
And it had been like 20 something years. Nobody
Wow.
had ever solved it. And this podcaster more or less, solved it.
That's crazy.
Then he went on the road, and we went and saw it. It was pretty good. It was well worth
Interesting.
it. So you never know. You solve a true crime, you big mystery, you're
Yeah.
going viral, right?
Yeah.
So this is our opportunity. All right. Next we have William Neal McCasland. He was a retired Air Force general, and he disappeared in Albuquerque from his house February 27th, 2026.
Albuquerque.
Yeah, Albuquerque. I know. Breaking Bad,
Mm-hmm.
Pluribus,
How does that all tie in?
Yeah, a lot of bad things happen in Albuquerque. It's no DTF St. Louis, but something. It's another throwback, right? Anyhow, again, left behind his phone, left behind his keys, was previously in charge of an Air Force research laboratory
So
and
that seems
oversaw.
like a connection. Like if people are leaving behind their personal items in
Of
these
course it
cases.
is.
Now it sounds like
It
that's a connection for sure.
Yes, it's weird, right? That's like 3 out of the 4. A lot of the stuff has been down in that area, well, and of course Los Alamos, of course those things are located down there. But yes, in the desert. So odd. This guy oversaw $2.2 billion of a science and technology program. That's a lot of money. He's clearly in the know, right? And then this is the one, Nilla, that had UFO related rumors. So some people said that he worked for Area 51. That now the wife came out and said that is not the case. But of course,
She
her
killed him.
husband's missing. Her husband's gone, right? So I don't know. Maybe this guy was
odd,
he
man.
was a UFO guy or something.
Yeah, right.
Well, yeah, that is true. That is true. So, but once you get into UFO stuff, I don't know. All right, this one, the number 6 of 8. This one is where this happened relatively recently too, and this one's messed up. So this was the MIT professor Nuno Loureiro. He was from Portugal, and he was a leading figure in plasma physics and fusion research. That's pretty big stuff. Plasma physics and fusion research. He was killed in December 2025. Now, you guys heard about this story, I guarantee it. But what makes this story kind of crazy, and it almost was overshadowed, maybe on purpose, the guy that killed him was the Brown University killer.
Yeah.
So if you remember this, so this guy went and he shot up Brown University. I think he killed like 2 students, one of which was the head of the Republican charter or
Right.
committee at the
Mhm.
campus. So people right off the bat, you were like, is this politically motivated? But then he went and got on a train and went to Boston and then killed this MIT professor. So like what, like why
Yeah,
did he,
definitely like a planned attack on certain
planned attack?
people.
Oh, 100%.
Wasn't
But
just a
what, like,
random, attack.
it seems unconnected at the point. Like, why shoot up Brown University and then drive 2 hours?
And he's gone.
And he's gone. But I bet you his laptop died or something. He timed out. Hopefully he gets back on, man. We'll see what happens.
I
But-
remember hearing about that when this
Yeah,
shooting happened. That there was
Yeah.
a lot of questions about like why this particular person, like this doesn't seem random. And then maybe that's
It
when
wasn't-
people started to tie all these other murders or missing people and
maybe
deaths
this
together.
was, because again, this is at the end of 2025. Now the
Mhm.
only thing here is that the murderer was also from Portugal, and I guess went to school with this guy. So they're saying maybe this was some kind of occupational jealousy. Like he was jealous that his friend or former classmate made it big and was this big MIT professor. But that doesn't explain the Brown shooting.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
And was the Brown shooting some kind of distraction? That made the news, and then this MIT professor just happens to be collateral damage.
I don't know. That seems pretty odd to me.
Yeah. It's odd. For
That's
sure.
the problem
So
is
that
you're dealing with people that are willing to do that. It's like you're trying to put yourself in their mind. It's how you going to do that?
now you're cutting out, Dud. So we
Yeah, you
lost
were
Nilla.
frozen too.
Was frozen. So I missed what you just said. But I don't know what's with technology these days. I bet you it's because all these freaking MIT professors are dying
It's all
and
these
our internet's getting
streamers.
slowed
Everybody's
down.
streaming.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Text Nilla, ask him if he's coming back on while I run through the next one. So the next one is Carl Grillmare, number 7. He was an astrophysicist whose work was reportedly supported by NASA and linked to and media coverage to tracking aerospace applications. And he was shot to death on his front porch in what was more or less just a random shooting. Now there is somebody that's been charged, but if you
Just
watch
so
the
happens-
X-Files, you know that there are no random shootings on your porch. Like
right.
this
Only you
probably
just
targeted.
randomly walked up and shot you. And
Exactly.
you know, if none of these other incidents were occurring, that might be something that could happen. But now
Yes,
you
and this
in,
again, this
tie
was
it in with
this was in
these, and it's starting to look even more
February
fishy.
of this year, so this is relatively recent. And even if they did catch this guy, he's probably a patsy.
They're all patsies.
They're all patsies.
Who's the
All
kingpin?
right. Woody Harrelson. Did anybody get that
Who's
joke?
behind all
I knew it
this?
was coming.
That's a good joke, man. That was a great movie. Kingpin is highly underrated. That is a fantastically funny movie.
It
And
is
I
a good
went
movie.
bowling tonight, actually.
That's true.
Went bowling.
Is that what you were
tonight,
doing? That's why we started so late.
yeah, we were at Pinup Bowl. Shout out to Pinup Bowl. Started a little rusty, but picked it up in the back half of my. I only got
the
one,
lanes
About
dry.
one
or-
round in.
260,
No, I just had to
270?
figure. I just had to figure out my spin a little bit. The
Mhm.
first, probably like 3 frames, I was just going a little too left, so I had to correct my throw. You know, you
Lanes weren't
haven't
dry,
bowled
though.
in a year or something, 2
Yeah.
years. I don't know the last time I bowled. You know, you gotta get used to it. The lanes were not dry. I was using a 10-pound ball.
10 powder, huh?
Yeah. Well, I've
Lightweight.
noticed that I get more spin
Sure.
with
Yeah,
the
for
lower weight. If I started with a 12, and right off the bat, it just kind of like
That
I
higher
didn't get enough
velocity
spin. Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
the 12.
get you a little
Yeah.
more spin on it and
Yep.
curve that ball
Yep.
around.
That's right.
Get those 7-10
I don't know.
splits.
Now I got the feeling I got to get back out there. You know, got to hit up the lanes again.
So what was your score
Mhm.
tonight?
My score tonight? I don't know that I want to say.
Did you break
'cause
100?
I did break 100.
Okay.
We'll say that much. But my all-time best score is 220.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Now, I was like a sophomore in high school when that happened, and I'll give a shout out to Mark. I won't say his last name per se. Nilla's in here twice all of a sudden. I don't know what that was.
The aliens.
The aliens. I'll give a shout out to Mark. I was with Dan and Mark in high school, and they both were like, "We're done. We're not going to bowl anymore." And I was like, "Come on, I want to do one more." I was feeling it, so I bowled one by myself. I didn't have anybody else bowling with me, so it was just me, and I bowled a 220. I think I marked every frame except for one.
Does that count
was
though
my-
if you just play by yourself?
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, it counts. Of course it does.
I mean, he's
I
got
feel like that's
witnesses.
not a legit competition. You have to be bowling against somebody for it to be an official score, don't you?
I don't know.
Unless it's
mean,
just
I'm-
practice.
This was not official.
Right,
I'm
yeah.
just saying. I was
It
not.
doesn't
You know,
go
I'm
in
not
your
putting myself in
official
the bowling
bowl-
Hall of Fame.
apparently
or
not.
Your
nothing.
official
Yeah,
bowling
220, I mean.
stats. I
I'll
don't want
take
your
220.
bowling card to say that you've rolled a 220.
One of these days, I'll get back up there again.
Mhm.
But anyhow, okay. All right. Number 8, Jason Thomas. He was a pharmaceutical researcher at Novartis
Novartis. Yeah.
disappeared. Yeah. Do you know it?
Yeah, used to work there.
Oh, okay. All right. Disappeared in December 2025, and his body was recovered from a Massachusetts lake March 17th, 2026. That was pretty recent, St. Patrick's Day. And
How long was he missing?
He was in a
again,
lake. Body was in a lake.
found in a lake.
How long?
drowned?
When did he go
Nothing.
missing?
He went missing in December, found in March.
But
Yeah,
no,
so like
no bullet holes
4
in him.
months.
He was just drowned.
You're right.
It doesn't really. It says no foul play was suspected.
Come on.
How
He
convenient.
went for a walk and fell in the lake, you know. Didn't have his phone.
right.
I mean,
Exactly.
Happens all the time. Left his phone.
Yeah,
left his car
happens all the
keys.
time. Just a random drowning. Like, what do you think? What do you think your odds are? What are your odds of drowning in a lake randomly?
Pretty low.
man, I don't know.
Pretty low.
1%.
Can't even be
like if you're-
1%.
I mean,
No, it's got to be less than
Yeah.
that. If you're at the ocean, like you could get caught in a riptide or,
yeah.
attacked by a shark or something. But like in a lake that you're not like actively swimming
Right.
in,
certainly not without foul play.
right? Come on.
Mm. Was the
Like,
toxicology
unless this
report?
was. Well,
you know, didn't do one, you know? Yeah, why not? Huh, interesting.
Trying to do a little night swimming.
Yep. All right. That was number 8. So that is all of them. That's the 8 main deaths. And again, there are more supposedly, but those are the 8 that people are like, wait a minute. These people are tied to NASA, Los Alamos, defense contracting, aerospace, engineering, advanced rocketry. They've either disappeared randomly in front of friends with no cell phones, no keys, no wallets on them, hiking alone. Something just it doesn't pass
Something's
the
up.
smell test.
Well,
Something's
the
up.
person whose phone was wiped clean, let's just say, for the fun of it, don't you still need, unless they didn't have any sort of password on their phone in general, don't you have to get into the phone originally, unless you're like some sort of crazy
Well,
hacker? But
If you have them with you, you could do the face
Or the
scan, you could do
fingerprint.
the
That's true.
thumbprint,
Yeah.
So now I've heard that doesn't actually work if your
If you're dead,
if your thumb has been chopped off or if it's dead, that it only works if it's actually like
Be
alive
alive.
or there's blood
or live eyes.
Yeah.
Your eyes have to be,
or same. Yeah. What would if you were really drunk? I don't want to say I'm really drunk yet, but I've had a couple beers. If your eyes are like would that work?
I don't know.
You got
Your
dead
facial
eyes. You got
recognition?
Tiger Woods eyes. Tiger Woods. Who just if you had Tiger Woods eyes, are you able to open up your cell phone?
You were talking about like what's the chances of accidentally, drowning in a lake. What about there was a second story that was earlier this year, or about that college kid who again, like ended up in a lake and died.
river.
Tennessee,
Or the
wasn't it?
river, yeah. And that was the
Nashville.
second time, right? There was another big story like last year sometime.
Yeah.
Same thing happened. What's
Yeah.
going on there?
Yeah. Well, the one with the story that really hit big, that he was from Mizzou.
Yeah, that's
he
right.
was a Mizzou student, so it was really big here
Mhm.
locally. And I was in Nashville shortly thereafter for the Pearl Jam concert. And that was about a year ago. It just popped up on my Facebook. So I know, and it happened a little bit before that. So we're probably talking like February of last year.
Did you feel like
and-
you were going to drown in the lake?
The
Or the
river.
river?
No, I felt good. But what they say is a lot of these guys are getting like drugged and, because
Tossed in the river?
apparently, well, there supposedly a lot of, you got a lot of scammers in Nashville that are like, hey, can I borrow your phone? Or like they drug you and then they borrow your phone and then they transfer a bunch of Venmo money
yeah.
and like all kinds of stuff. And you're drugged and then they just send you on your way. Well, this guy, his college kids, his college friends, Duds, you were in a fraternity. They just abandoned him, and then
Well,
he
you'd never do
stumbled his
that.
way into the lake. Well, I mean, you should never, no man left behind,
No,
right?
you don't
Like,
abandon a friend.
But what if he
Yeah.
abandoned
Friend does that.
them? Like, basically he just like left, like kind
Coulda
of, I'm going to go to the
Houdini'd,
bathroom and then, didn't come back. It's like, well, I mean, I don't know.
I think they
I would
said that
chalk
it
it
didn't
up to
happen.
that.
Yeah,
I guess they said he got kicked out of the bar for being too
Yeah.
drunk and they just wanted to stay at the bar.
yeah, that's
So
true.
they stayed and they were like,
Oh,
all
they
right,
shouldn't
see you,
do that.
buddy. We'll see you
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
hotel.
You got to go out
And-
there with them. You can't let the guy get kicked out by himself.
Yeah, at least go
And now
with
he's
them,
dead,
go back to
so
the hotel, and then come
imagine-
back.
Imagine how they feel
Yeah,
now.
that's true. Yeah,
Yeah, pretty bad, I bet.
interesting.
All right. So that's it for the scientists. I got a local in the loose story here too.
I would say there's definitely some potential for
There's something
connections
to this.
going on
Yeah.
there and
Well,
some kind of conspiracy.
Mhm.
I would recommend, if you're interested in this, go check out the Will Kane show. He's the one that I've seen devote really any time to this story. He's on Fox News at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern.
You a sponsor? Or?
And he's covered. He is not a sponsor
No,
yet.
man, are
He
you a
has his own
sponsor for him?
podcast. Not yet.
He's open to it though.
He may be. You never know. You never know. So I do think that there's something more to this story. It seems a little too fishy.
Yeah.
And don't put it past our adversaries, the Iranians,
Mm.
the Chinese,
Yeah,
the Russians, the North Koreans. You know, this is what they do.
Yeah,
And we used to do this.
I was gonna say we would do it too.
We might
yeah.
still do it. I don't know.
Right.
Then we got
We
all
might still do
soft.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. The gas prices are going up. Let's just cancel the war.
Mm.
Yeah, how about that?
We talked about that.
It's too
Talked
expensive.
about that a little bit last week, right? Yeah, gas is too expensive. World War II. Let's just let the Germans have Europe. Can't. God forbid, gas prices have gone up a little bit.
What do you think about the ceasefire?
This is tough. I didn't want there to be a ceasefire. I want us to
warmonger.
finish. I want us to finish it. Warmonger. So this is somebody said it the other day. This is the first like AI war, right? Like outside of like a couple of things, like there's no boots on the ground.
Like, yeah.
Yes, we did have
Or
had
maybe
our
some.
maybe some. I mean, we had our fighter pilots that went down. Awesome that we were able to recover them, and I'm sure that was an amazing mission.
Yeah.
There will be a movie about it. There'll be a book about it, I'm sure, soon, and we'll
Ghost
get some
Murmur?
more information. The Ghost Murmur, you know, like of course we just gave that away, that we have this technology that can pick up a heartbeat.
That's what happened. It was about that. That's why these people disappeared.
But, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
You should use that to look for them.
yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know. Where were we?
Did you watch that video on that technology?
I don't think I
I
actually
did not. I didn't have a chance to watch
I sent it to
yet.
you. It was pretty interesting.
I know. I just haven't
Hmm.
had a chance yet. I got it saved.
Yeah,
you were
something
talking about the something in the
nuts.
loo, I think.
Well, yeah, I was moving on to local in the loo, and then we got distracted, and I could talk about the ceasefire and oil prices and stuff all day. But I did want to talk about the Blues.
Yeah, we lost.
I didn't put it on. Did we lose in regulation?
Yeah, 3-2.
3-2.
So where are we at then? I mean, do we have a chance to? I mean,
No,
no.
this probably did it. If we had like when we had 6 games left in the season, if we won all 6 games, it gave us like a 60% chance to make it into the playoffs, which is pretty good. But then like winning 5 out of 6 games only gave us like a 10.
Then we lost another one.
And now we've lost 2 in a row.
Yeah, I
so
mean,
like,
you knew
even
it
if
was
we
over. Come on.
Yeah, it's over. But this is why I want to talk about it, because I think the NHL is bullshit.
What do you mean? How so?
Expand on that.
Expand. That's what I was hoping. That was what I was hoping for. Okay, I'm gonna convince you guys right now. The NHL gives out how many points for a win? If you win, how many points do you get? 2.
I wasn't positive, but I was like, I think.
yeah. You get 2 points for a win. All right. If you win in overtime or a shootout, how many points do you get?
Just get 2, right?
I was going to say
2.
it should be 3, but I guess it's 2.
Nope, it's 2. If you lose in overtime or a shootout, how many points do you get?
You get 0.
I was going to say it should be
Nope.
1.
Oh, you get 1.
1.
Right.
Yeah. So herein lies the problem. Some games in the NHL are worth 2 points, and some games in the NHL are worth 3 points. That is a fatal flaw of the system. So it rewards teams that are shit. And a prime example this year are the LA Kings. that have played more overtime games than any team in the league.
So you think
And
they're shit teams or they're just competitive teams?
Well, I mean, in theory, I guess they're competitive, but the
Seems like you're
league,
getting rewarded for like more competitive hockey play.
no, that's the opposite. Well, you're getting
Unless
rewarded
it's
for
0-0.
not winning,
Yeah.
or right. You're getting rewarded to go into overtime, right? So especially when it comes down to the last 5 minutes of the third period, and you're sometimes, yeah, sometimes. But the Blues, like we're in this playoff hunt right now. Surprisingly, we shouldn't be. We're not a good enough team, but we are because we had a really good after the Olympics. Like we've been on a tear. We were like up until the other night, we were like 13-3. Like that's a pretty good record. Now I think we beat Denver, the best team in the league in Denver, Colorado, the Avalanche. And then we lost to them, and now we've lost to the Jets. So we're probably done. But so we're in the thick of things all of a sudden. Well, then like Nashville is playing LA, and guess what? It goes to overtime. Right? So they are getting 3 points out of that game. But we played the same night and we only had the chance to get 2 points. Bullshit.
So how do you solve that?
It's solved. And I've been saying this for a long time. And people are just starting to pick up on it, but I'm going to say it was me. I mean, I can't 100% prove that I came up with it, but I think I came up with it. You got to go to a 3-2 ChatGPT. No, this is way before Chat. I've been saying this for 10 years, since the lockout of 2005. No, Nilla, go on again.
He disagrees. I don't like the 3-2-1.
What is he doing? I don't know what he's doing, man. All right. So I'm going to have to explain it again when he comes back. So it's a 3-2-1 system. Every game in the NHL should be worth 3 points. It's that simple. If you win in regulation,
overtime win be 2
would be 2-1.
Yeah.
So if you win in regulation, you get 3 points. Kind of like soccer, right? You get 3 points. If it goes to overtime,
one of the points goes to the loser.
Yes, correct. There's still 3 points up for grabs. If you win in overtime or a shootout, you get 2 points. If you lose in overtime,
so why
shootout,
don't they do that?
1 point. I don't know. The only actual answer that hockey analysts say at the moment is like, oh, hockey purists, it's the way that it used to be. So if they change it, it'll screw up the record keeping, right? You look back and you're like, oh, that Blues team of 2001, one of the best teams ever, had 122 points. Well, if you start awarding every team 3 points per win, it's going to be 180 points.
It's going to skew all those old numbers. Oh, no. How will we ever compare?
No. You know what? You need to adapt. You need to adapt to changing times. And so here's my argument. So not only do you reward teams that are better for standard regulation, right? You win in regulation, you're earning more points.
Mm-hmm.
But think about the chaos at the end of the season. A team like the Blues, that's like borderline, a regulation win becomes that much more valuable.
Right.
So instead of playing for the tie and hoping that you get the win in overtime or shootout, you're going all out for that regulation win because you need 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's gonna make it way more interesting. It's gonna make the playoff push way better. It's gonna differentiate the really good teams, the teams that should be well above. This year you look at the Avalanche, the Stars, the Wild. Like they shouldn't even be in like any real worry that they're not going to make the playoffs.
Well, and then you can gain ground or put distance between you and the other teams even more if you're winning and they're winning too.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you still have that option.
Yeah. Mediocre teams like the Blues, this year they get exposed. Are the Kings. Really, the Kings are a better example. The Blues actually had the tiebreaker of all of the teams for most regulation wins.
Oh, really?
But the King, yeah. So if we would have gotten there, we would have been in because we
So
ended
this
up
would have
2-0.
benefited
So
the Blues, this new scoring system.
100% this year, this would have benefited the Blues, but the current system benefited the LA Kings because they went into more overtime games than any other team in the NHL.
Well,
So
that
they
makes sense. That's
guaranteed,
why they're using it, because the
of,
LA
of
Kings,
course,
it's the LA. There are a bunch of cheaters out there.
pansies. I agree.
They got the big market.
So
They're just trying to get them into the playoffs. That's the only reason.
yeah. But so
I
here's
hate
the
the
other
Blues. Shit on St. Louis.
thing.
That's what they always do.
For sure. Europe already does this. So this isn't necessarily, I don't know when Europe started it, but they already moved to the 3-point system. But this would be better for TV ratings. It would make, the playoff push even more exciting.
I mean, it makes sense.
And of course it makes sense. I don't know why the NHL doesn't just buy into this and make the change. It would be way better for the league.
Do they know about this problem?
I can't imagine. If they need me to really go out there and push for this, I will do it. I will take on that burden. But they have to know, right?
You would think. The only
You
other
would
option
think.
is you eliminate the 1 point for the overtime loser. It's like
Well, and that's
the
how it used.
overtime
That's
loss
how it,
doesn't matter,
right. Well, that's how it used to be back in the day. If it went into overtime and you won in overtime, you just took the 2 points. But there were also ties. So if you didn't win in overtime,
You
then the
had a
points got
1-on-1.
split.
Yeah.
It was 1-1, and that was fine.
Yeah, that makes sense
Right?
too. Mhm.
That makes sense. But it doesn't make sense to have some games worth 2 points and some games worth
Yeah, that's kind of an unbalance right there.
100%.
I would agree
All
with that.
right.
You sold me.
I told you I would.
I didn't even know
I
this was
gonna
a
change it.
problem, but I agree it is, and I think
Well,
we
I think
can
that's the
change
thing. I think most people don't know that it's a problem.
No, probably not.
Yep. All right, what's going on with Nilla? Here
I
we're
guess
down
he's
to our
done.
last 10. You
I
think
guess
he's done?
I don't know. Let's
Text
see.
him. I don't know. Like
He's
what?
probably
Did
like,
his
"I'm
phone
out."
die now? Is that what he said? His laptop
Camera.
died. His
Yeah, he said it's
phone
the
died. What's his
computer.
problem?
He said it's the computer.
I tell you what. All right. Well, we got like 10 minutes left. I don't necessarily have. I do have the wheel if we want to do the wheel. But more or less, we talked about Project Hail Mary a little bit already.
Mhm.
You said that you finished Dark Matter.
I did.
Let's just stick with that. What did you think?
Sure. I thought it was pretty good,
Yeah.
the story was good. I liked it gave you kind of a good, like, I guess, perception of a normal person kinda getting put into this situation where
Yeah.
I don't wanna ruin it for any of the listeners who probably
Sure.
won't ever read the book. Uh, but a guy in his quantum, one universe that gets infiltrated by another universe, I guess, of himself, right?
Right. Yeah. His double, his
Kinda hard to
doppelganger.
Yeah, your doppelganger, your clone, would you call that? It's really you,
Doppelganger, I
right?
think. Yeah, it's really you.
You
I think
from another
doppelganger is
quantum
probably the best.
universe.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. The
Uh,
multiverse.
right. And being unaware of this other person that researched this, ability to travel through worlds, and he just takes your place and throws you into his world. I mean, imagine that. It would be kind of be a
It'd
strange
be
day.
mine. Yeah. So what I really liked about it is it took a couple of twists, that I didn't expect. And I alluded to this a little bit the other day, last week, that I thought it was kind of like Fringe, right? You had World A and World B, and they were going, but then it turned into the multiverse, right? Which
Mhm.
it turned into Sliders,
Right.
right? So when you brought that up a couple of weeks ago, you're like, oh, I'm really looking for a show to replace Sliders,
Mhm.
which is a classic like 90s reference. And it was just too funny because I had just read the book, I had started the TV show, and I had it on the agenda for the podcast.
Yep. It
And
did remind me of it.
of course, and the TV show does even more so. So I highly recommend that. We haven't finished it yet. We have like 2 episodes to go. And I don't want to, no spoilers, the best that I can. But the book takes a little bit of a turn when he gets back to quote unquote Earth Prime, his
Mhm.
original universe,
Mhm.
or at least we are to assume
Right.
it's his original universe. We don't necessarily know that it is. and there are all the Jasons there.
Right.
That, to me, that blew my mind. I wasn't expecting that. I'm like, oh, there's 1,000 other Jasons that are doing the same thing now, and they all came back to this one universe trying to get back together. And in the actuality, it's kind of like a love story. He incorporates a love story into this sci-fi book. He does the same thing with Recursion, which I really liked. And again, I think I recommended that you read that one next. Kind of the same story. It kind of turns into a little bit of a love story, but the sci-fi aspect of it is pretty cool.
I liked the fact that, like you said, it was a love story, but also it kind of gave me like the perception of like looking at your life and what your life, different avenues your life could have
Yeah,
taken, right?
sure. Right.
And
Absolutely.
hopefully you're living the life that you want to live, and that, is the best life for you. And I was kind of thinking about that. I was like, I like my life. Like, I think I
Yeah.
can relate a lot to that guy, and if you were just pulled out of your normal life and said, here, now you have to go live this way.
But
Like,
you do have to think about it. Like for you, what if you never would have moved back to St. Louis?
right? Be a completely different,
That
whole different
we
world.
wouldn't be doing this. We wouldn't be doing this pod right now. I
Right.
could tell you that much. Right. So like that's
You can see
for
how
you.
one decision can make huge,
Sure.
impacts all
You know,
throughout the world.
when I took the job that I have now, I remember going to the bar to talk it over with my parents because it was a pretty big lifestyle change.
Mhm.
And I remember my mom did not want me to take the job
Really?
because of the drastic lifestyle change.
Because of all the travel?
And yeah, because of all the travel. But I, of course, again, for me, I was like, think of all the places I got to go, all the cool things I got to do. I got to work from home. And the pay is better, all of that. So
Mhm.
I chose
And you're like,
I
travel
chose to
sounds
take that
fun.
job. Yeah. But now I can't imagine my life not having taken that job. If I didn't take that job, I'd be at not even middle management, low management of some company off of Tesson Ferry, making $40,000 a year, going to the office every day wearing crappy polos,
It sounds
you
like me.
know. No, that's not you. No.
No,
But
but
instead, I got to work for this big company, and I got to go to cool places, and like my life is completely different. But so I think that is certainly the fun thing of this book and of the show too, is it kind of goes into the major decisions, and
mhm,
I won't spoil it, but the TV show does a good job, especially with Jason 2, if you will. Like, is he happy
right.
in that life that he stole?
Or
Like, is that
was
everything he?
see, I was kinda wondering that myself, like, was he almost getting tired of it? Like,
Yeah,
you can have it back,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Well,
Because
I would highly
he
recommend the
reminded me
TV
of, like, the
show.
Elon Musk kinda guy, right?
Yeah,
Where just
yeah,
a eccentric, like, very devoted
yeah.
to his work, and that
Right,
was kind of above
genius.
all else, right?
Right, right. And
And
and ultimately, that is the plot of the book is, what if I traded all of that for the home life, for the
mhm.
wife, the kid, the steady, just like
Well,
humdrum of everyday life.
it does, I guess, make you look at that like that's a huge decision, like being a parent.
Sure.
There's certain careers you and certain lives that you can't have, because
Yeah.
you've chosen to do this for 20
Yeah.
plus years. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a big portion of your life devoted to it. So,
Well, they just promoted season 2 of Dark Matter is starting up in August. So now's a good time if you can go check out season 1. You don't have to wait that long for season 2. And again, I don't know how they're going to wrap up season 1. They haven't 100% tied it into the ending of the book. I'm curious if they'll do that or if they'll save it for season 2, or if season 2 turns even more into Sliders,
yeah,
right? Like, I don't know. And that's what I do like about it. Like, cause it's endless possibilities. And I was my
I
wife
think
and I,
those are
we were
fun
watching it.
shows.
Yeah, they're fun shows. And I was explaining Sliders to my wife last night as we were watching Dark Matter. and how Sliders did a pretty good job of switching it up and making it interesting, because you could do the, like, oh, different worlds here or there, and they came up with some really crazy concepts. I was explaining to my wife, and I don't know if you remember this episode, the lottery episode from Sliders. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, is that the one where they
And
could get all the money out of the ATMs?
yeah,
And that
so
was
they're
like your
playing the
entries
lottery.
into a lottery?
But what they don't know, that the lottery, so they take as much money as they want, but the more money they take, the more times their name gets entered into a lottery to off themselves for population control. So they don't understand it. They take a bunch of money, and then of course they win the lottery, and they're all slated to die, and so they all have to slide before they get off. Which is the premise of the whole show, right? Like, something, they're all about to die, and then they slide just in time.
It always seemed to be that. Like, Quantum Leap was the same thing, man. It was right
Yeah,
there
Quantum
at
Leap
the
was
end.
also very good.
Always leave those cliffhangers,
Yeah. My dad played tennis with Scott Bakula
Really?
from Quantum Leap. Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
absolutely.
Claim to
Pretty
fame.
cool. And they brought back Quantum Leap, and my parents watched it because they were big Quantum Leap people, and I thought about it, and I didn't. They ended up canceling it after 2 seasons, and it was kind of what's the word?
Not
Woke?
good. Oh,
I didn't watch it. I don't know if it was good, but they made it kind of woke. DEI, yeah.
That'll kill it.
Yeah, that could kill it, and it did. It didn't make it. It only lasted 2 seasons.
I don't know why they keep trying to push that. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
How'd that new Star Trek show?
Yeah, we're on the same spot here. Didn't do very good. You're right about that.
Oh,
Didn't
it was pathetic looking.
Pathetic. It was terrible. But Quantum Leap, I want to go back. My favorite episode. There is a great episode. It was a season finale and premiere. Probably like season 3 into season 4. I don't really remember. I was too young when I was watching it, and I've never actually gone back to rewatch them. But this episode really stuck in my head, where Scott Bakula goes back and he's a bodyguard for JFK.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember this one.
I think
and
so.
the big twist at the end is not he thought his job was to save JFK, right? Because he knows that he was like, oh, my job's to save, Well, it wasn't. It was to save Jackie Kennedy, not Jackie. I was going to say Jackie O, but she wasn't Jackie O yet, Jackie Kennedy. So he ends up saving her, and he comes to the realization that my whole part of this leap was to save her, not JFK. And that was the big twist. Oh, I loved it because of the history of it all, and it was a very cool concept. That's the one that sticks with me from Quantum Leap. So, but I was explaining Sliders again to my wife, and they had to do the whole big thing with the Cro-Mags. You remember that?
What's the Cro-Mags?
They were the Cro-Magnon people, the alternate humans. They didn't
I think so.
come into play into like season 3 or something like that.
Okay.
Where so there was a universe where humans developed and these Cro-Mags developed, and they were always at war with each other. And the Cro-Mags developed slide technology, and then they started conquering different worlds. I thought that's what made the show. I love that aspect of it.
I don't even remember that part, really.
Yeah, that was that was later seasons. So you probably only made it after it's.
I think I watched all of it.
Sci-fi.
Did they bring it back?
Well, they did 2 seasons, I think, on Fox, and then they moved over to the Sci-Fi Network for 2 or 3 more seasons.
But he made it back home, right?
No.
But then his gate was like not squeaky.
Well, that was the end. That was the end of the very first episode, or the end of season 1. So
the end of season 1.
The end of the very first episode. He comes back. He was like, "Oh yeah, this is it."
That's
and then
right.
His dad walks
through
season, the door,
and then they left.
Yeah. Yep. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. But I did see seasons after that.
Yeah. And eventually they kill off the professor. They killed off Wade, and then
I think
the
I
last
did stop
season,
watching it though.
Well, it got they eventually kill off Quinn, the main guy.
How do you do that?
Jerry O'Connell. It was bad.
Who was left?
They had his Carrie Wur, or however you pronounce her name. She was a later season addition, and then who else was left? The Rembrandt, the black
Okay,
guy.
that
Yeah.
was
They
it.
stayed in it through all 5 seasons, and then they brought on some newer characters.
Yeah, so I definitely stopped watching it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's too bad.
That it is too bad. I think it's still a show that has promise. They could probably bring it back now, and I would watch it.
Revamp it a little bit.
People have asked Jerry O'Connell about this show because this is really where, I mean, obviously he was in Stand By Me, but I feel like he
That's
really
kind of
got
his
his
big,
start.
yeah, his big one.
Yeah, this is a big break for sure. So yeah, I don't know. So definitely check out Dark Matter TV show, and then if you're looking for your next book, I highly recommend Recursion. This one is
Is
fucks
it
with your mind, man.
another one like that?
Yeah, and it has definitely some similarities, uh, but enough differences. It's not the same book, obviously. And I almost think Recursion is better than Dark Matter. And
Really?
they're also supposedly making a Recursion movie for Netflix, but I don't know how they could wrap the whole thing up in a movie. Like
There's a
this
lot
thing
going on.
is. It reminds me a little bit of The Sixth Day. Do you remember that
I do
movie
remember that.
with Arnold
With Arnold?
Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, with the clones.
Yeah, and this is not clone related, so I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but a little bit of that. And then I'm trying to think of the other movie, um, maybe Butterfly Effect a little bit.
Okay. That
Yeah,
one was weird. That
uh,
one was like time travel almost.
yeah, Recursion is more along that line.
Yeah. So
Time travel through memories.
what do you think the butterfly effect like that was supposed to represent? That wasn't a multiverse type thing, right?
No, that was more. That was more playing. That was more like Back to the Future, I guess, playing with the time continuum, space time continuum, right?
Because the butterfly
And
effect though is the whole chaos effect, right?
right, like you change one little thing and it alters every. So that's more along the lines probably of Recursion. But you'll definitely, if you read it, you'll get the 6 day aspect of it too, like getting and it's the same kind of a thing where Ashton Kutcher gets all these memories all at once of all of these different lives that he lived in his brain. He ends up having brain problems, right? And they say like, hey, if you keep doing this, you're gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
Your brain can't take all of these memories in. So
You're gonna go crazy.
Recursion, you're gonna go crazy, right? Recursion's kind of like that. Butterfly Effect, I still say I think it's a great movie, and they actually made like 3 of them. The other ones were like straight to DVD. But they were decent movies, and it took me a while to get Caroline to watch Butterfly Effect. She was like, Ashton Kutcher in a serious role. And I was like,
Oh, I think
trust
it's
me
a
when I
great
say
movie.
like I think it's a great movie. And it was one of the first movies that had a true alternate ending on a DVD. So in the movie, and there's actually like 3 or 4 endings. They only put one in the DVD
I think I did watch
where
those.
yeah, the alternate ending was pretty shitty where he offs himself in the womb.
But yeah.
That was kind of lame. But there's the ending that we saw in the movie where he passes by
Didn't he
Amy
like put the
Smart.
umbilical cord around his neck or
Yeah,
something?
yeah. So that was the original alternate ending. That was the terrible one.
That's
And
a
then
good
there's
one
different
to not use.
to not right. They did a pretty good job where they see each other on the street.
Yeah, I
They
thought the
take a
ending was
second look.
fine.
Yeah, it was fine. And Oasis is playing in the background, great song. But there is another alternate ending where they see each other and they reconnect. I think like they remember. Like that one was pretty good too. And I think there's one other one. So I think there was 4, if I remember correctly. So yeah.
Well, what else you got going on? Anything? I've been up since like
That's about it.
3:30 this
Nilla's
morning.
not on. I told him we would stop at 10 o'clock for him. But he obviously, if he's going to be on the pod, he's got to figure out his technology
Studio setup.
aspect of it all. Yeah, I don't know, man. He's got the wrong audio to start the
The
pod, then
internet, the
drops
computer.
twice. If he wants to leave, I told him he could leave whenever he wants. I was like, stay on for an hour, talk the main topic, and then bounce.
And
He could
charge
do
your
that. He could
battery.
charge your. I don't know. But hey, I mean, that's all I got. I don't know if you have anything else. We're trending upward in the pod. We got St. Louis City pod coming out either tomorrow or Saturday as well. We'll drop that before the game. We
We've
got
had
the
enough
late.
technical difficulties on this one to hopefully drop that down a little bit.
I hope so.
Maybe there's too much
Well,
traffic.
too much traffic. Hey, that's always a good problem, right? I had a website back in the day. I won't say what it is,
Is
but
it MySpace?
no. It went viral. This website. It went
Your
viral
website?
back in the. Huh?
A website you made.
Yeah, it was a website I made. Yeah,
Viral.
a
What do you
website I
consider
made.
viral?
I don't 100% know, but it got picked up by a much bigger website, and it drove so much traffic to my site that my site crashed because I didn't have any money, and so I was paying for just like the generic whatever,
What was on
and
there?
videos and stuff like that. It
Oh,
was
what
before
kind
the
of
days.
videos?
You really want me to out myself, huh? The Buffy the Vampire Slayer videos.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And
Was this wasn't pirated stuff?
no,
What
no.
were they?
Well,
What
I
kind
mean,
of
kind
Buffy?
of
What kind of Buffy videos were they?
like fan made videos, that kind of a
Okay,
thing.
but they were videos you made.
Correct.
They weren't Buffy
Yeah.
the show.
They were Buffy the show, right? Like that's what I'm gonna say. Like, was it pirated? Like the videos I did not own the content,
But you were in them.
right? I was not in them. What did you think I was doing? You think I'm acting or something like that? No, 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 no. I took the clips
You were doing some
from the
cutscenes.
show.
You'd add you
And
into it.
yeah, I still got a couple of
You
them that I was
modified the
able to.
show.
I got with AI now. You never know. I got a couple of them that I was able to save because at the time YouTube was not a thing. So I hosted them on this website, and the website got picked up by another website, and it crashed because too many
So
people were downloading my
you created
videos.
the first YouTube.
What? Maybe the Buffy tube, if you
If you would
will.
have paid a little bit, if you would have paid a little money, you could have had a better server. Then you could
This
have
was like I
started.
was
You could have
like,
started the first video website.
yeah, I was probably like a freshman or a sophomore in college. And then yeah, YouTube came out slightly, probably like shortly thereafter. I don't remember exactly what year YouTube came out. Probably like 2005.
How many videos do you think are on YouTube now?
Oh my, ooh, more than 1 billion.
Oh God, yeah. I think it's probably 1 billion a day.
It probably is. I don't even know.
Let's see.
It's stupid.
What's your final guess?
10 billion.
Let's see. This says only, well, anywhere from 5 to 15 billion.
All right, 10 billion. That's right in the middle. That's pretty good. They don't know. There's so
Upload
many
rate,
that they don't know.
isn't that crazy? Upload rate 500 to 720 hours of video every minute.
Insane. Yeah. Well, you think about like this.
700,000 hours a day.
This is getting uploaded. You look at like Oasis or Foo Fighters or what, like their music has more than 1 billion views.
That is crazy.
Like it's crazy. Mr. Beast, he has 1 billion followers or something like that. Like that's 1/7 of the planet, or 1/9 of the planet.
Adding
Follows him.
millions of new videos daily.
Yeah.
Millions.
Yeah. It is pretty crazy.
There's literally more content out there than any person could ever hope to consume.
Sure. And what do you do with all of that? Like you have these.
You don't do anything with it. You just put it on the internet. Put it out there for AI to look at one day. We're basically making content for AI.
That's what we're doing.
If you think about it, that's what a lot of the content on the internet is going to be. Eventually, there's going to be so much out there. You're going to have AI scour the internet and
maybe that's the thing.
Content.
Maybe ChatGPT will eventually scrub NFNP pod, and what we're saying about dead scientists will go viral.
Could. Yeah, maybe that'll.
You never know.
It could lead to solving investigations, ending world hunger, world peace.
If we solve world hunger, then we're in good shape.
How
All
do we
right.
do that? Let's sleep
how do
on
you do
that.
it?
We'll figure it out
Yeah,
for
sleep
next
on
week.
that. What do we do for next week? So I'm on the road next week
On the road again,
for
huh?
work. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if we can squeeze it in or not. I might be able to do it from the road, or we might just have to take a week off. We'll just have to see. If we take a week off, we'll be back on the 24th.
It's also tax week, so if you haven't done your taxes,
I have done my taxes. You know what? I'll say this, and we can end with this. I don't want to go too far, but my wife got her taxes. You know, her W-2 and whatever it is, W-4. I never know. She got all of her statements. I did the taxes, and then I don't know. A month later, they're like, "We fucked up." They're like, "We're going to send you a corrected her plates of employment.
Oh,
We're going to send." I'm like,
W-2?
"Too late."
Already
Yeah,
filed.
W-2. Yeah, too late. I'm not messing with it. If the government comes back or whatever, fine, but I'm not doing it again. Like,
So I guess it
this
was
is
in
on
your
you
favor
guys.
not to redo them.
Well, I think it was so, like, come on.
Couple
We're not
bucks.
making millions of dollars over here, you know.
Not with an attitude like that.
Not yet. Maybe one day. So maybe $20 here or there. It's not even worth my time. I'm just gonna
Fix it on next year's.
Sorry. Yeah. Fix it on next year.
Yeah, I got to file my first quarterly tax payment since I turned off the withholdings. I like it a lot better, I think.
Are you liking it?
Well, yeah, because you get to hold on to the money and then just send them one payment. So,
but what do you do? Are you
that.
doing something with the money or investing it? Like you feel like it's worth your?
I mean, it's sitting in accounts.
Trouble?
It's just cash flow.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Right.
Helps out.
Yeah. Cash flow is all good until you don't have the money.
Yeah, until the flow
you're
is
like,
out.
Fuck, I spent it, and now I owe the government a bunch of money that I don't have because I took a family vacation, or I needed a new roof, or whatever. I need a new air conditioner unit, and I took that money out of that account, and now I owe the government.
So I guess you should budget and not overspend.
Well, of course. Yes.
That would be the key.
Always easier said than done, but then everybody keeps raising the prices.
I know. We can get into that if you want.
Well, maybe the next time we'll talk about. We've talked about this before, but now again, I feel like because gas has gone up a little bit, and like this is not the first time it's hit more than $4 a gallon in this country, but yet all of a sudden, Southwest, $10 more for bags. Bags used to fly free. And now, not only do they charge you, they're charging you $10 more now because of the price of gas.
Yeah, well.
Like, okay, what? 5 years ago, gas was $4 a gallon.
He never lowered it.
Shit.
I know.
I think it's all a money grab.
Southwest had a good thing going. Well, they did. They had a good thing going, and then they changed all their fares.
Of course. Screw Southwest. Have you seen the price of asphalt?
It's ridiculous. They just keep raising. They just keep raising the price.
$9 more per ton? Like, that's out of control.
It really is. It's outrageous.
Bobcat Man made it this far, I hopefully he appreciates it. All right. Well, I said it was a 10 o'clock hard stop, but Nilla dropped off, so we made it till 10:17 p.m.
Time for bed.
How about that? It's still one of our shorter episodes, only like an hour and a half. So
that's
time for bed. Well, I appreciate the later start, given that I had some work to do tonight, and we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll come at you next week. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll take a week off. Either way, we do have a St. Louis City SC posse, so check that out. Check out the blog. Check out the website. Give us a like. Give us a follow. All the things.
Do what you can.
Do what you can. All right, I was waiting for you to throw in the last word.
No, I got nothing.
And you paused for a little too long.
I'm too tired.
Right. I'm hitting the stop button.
Later.
This number has been disconnected.